Here in genteel, some would say smug Montgomery County, we've long looked down our nose at the surrounding counties like Prince George's because our county government was so well run, so superior, without even the hint of a scandal. Now, lo and behold, after 2 months of turmoil and a revelation that resulted in the firing of the entire county planning board by the county council, the council, in a very obvious and desperate attempt to stifle the chaos, voted unanimously for a revision of the county's master plan, which is so universally hated that no growthers like County Executive Mark Elrich and pro-growthers like Epic of Moco are on the same side. They agree because of the lack of transparency by the disgraced and now fired planning board. Cary, you can't make this stuff up. What's the outtake on Thrive 2050 Montgomery?
It's insane what's going on. I mean, for the past 3 years, the public has been disrespected, ignored, insulted by the planning board. I mean, it gets to the point where if you go to YouTube and type in pints with a planner, you get Casey Anderson mixing a bourbon and on ice or something. I mean, it's ridiculous what's going on. And then we have a council who has this dysfunctional plan, and they're voting to approve it. It's going to displace people in the county. It's going to have environmental impact. There's no provisions for economic growth. Ho, hold on here. I'm telling you, everybody in Montgomery County better sit back, hold on tight, because we're in for a ride here.
Well, we're going to see about that. And Laurie, was it wise? And I'm going to follow on one of the points that Cary said. I mean, was it wise the outgoing council to vote on Thrive 2050 just days before the start of early voting? And given the results of the election, especially with the addition of 2 new council member seats, shouldn't the public, and this has been a topic of discussion between candidates, shouldn't the public have had their voices heard on this important issue?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I agree with Cary. So you got a Democrat and a Republican both saying that it was a big mess. So I don't know what was going on and why they wanted to pass this and rush it through right after what happened with the planning board. It just doesn't smell right. The public that pays attention through all COVID and when most people were working hard and trying to get, keep their families running, a few people were paying attention and they have been heard, but now people are just starting to hear about it and going, whoa, what did they just vote for? So you can make a change by voting for candidates who say that they were against Thrive 2050, and most of those candidates are in the Republican side. I don't know any Democrat who, other than Mark Elrich, who's saying that they don't support it. I think that the county council meeting where they passed it, a lot of people, most of the people in that room who were there were opposing Thrive 250, and they forgot, the council forgot that at the top of the organizational chart, it's not them, it's the citizens or the residents. They are the top of the organizational chart. They're the ones that are supposed to be listened to, not the other way around. I don't know what they're thinking. There's a lot of big heads in the county council that need to go.
Well, I mean, the question is, some of those people are term limited and are going to be leaving, and they've made a decision that will be binding on Montgomery County. Of course, we can go through this whole charade, again, but, there was Mark Elrich, the county executive, issued a rather astonishing press release right after the vote and, said that, he'll promised he'll work with the county council, but he hates the plan. Cary, how have the political dynamics of the county been affected by this split between the executive and the council?
It's your guess as good as mine. I mean, this kind of reminds me of 1966, but in reverse. The Diggs Council, you've got a lame duck county council passing a pro-growth agenda that literally will alter the face of Montgomery County. It'll further overcrowd our schools. It'll displace people that live here. The 30,000 residents, 30,000 families live in our suburban communities that rent and rely on naturally occurring affordable housing. Guess what? We're creating a plan that's going to encourage landlords to displace these people, redevelop their properties, and double or triple their rental properties. This is insane. There's no provisions for economic growth, environmental resilience. These are all just words. And you know what? None of it is even considered, because all of those things are in another report called the action report. And they didn't even vote on that. It's crazy.
Well, it looks like more chaos, but there was one dissenting opinion. And last week, Laurie, on this program, former council member and planning board member Nancy Florine opined that there would be little impact on the county because of the plan. Maybe she was talking about because of the action report, but it was just guidelines.
If it was going to have little impact, then why did the council work so hard to try to ram it through? That makes no sense at all. Thrive 2050 sets the stage for people in neighborhoods that have homes to have their neighbor the zoning would change, and it sets a stage for the zoning to change to allow duplexes and triplexes right next door to your own house. That will change the value of our homes. And when we bought our house and put our investment into our homes, we didn't expect that our next door neighbor was going to be replaced with a triplex. I mean, this is ridiculous, and it's creating density. It's their answer to fixing affordable housing, but it's not an answer. It's not the right way to go.
Well, I mean, what I heard was, in looking at other counties going through the same process, this is an outgrowth of what the federal government wants to do with their housing plan. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we should be surprised. I think right. What's disturbing here in Montgomery County is the manner in which it was done. There was a tremendous lack of transparency and a tremendous inability for the public to, especially during COVID, to have a voice in this process. So I don't know if there'll be political ramifications, but it'll be interesting to find out and see. We got to go on to our next topic, test scores. They saw a steep decline because of COVID closings. How should the county respond? Stay tuned for this and more on the next 21 This Week after this short break.